Welcome to How to Start a Website 2.0. You can find the blog article that goes with this session at howtostartawebsite2.com/plugins. Alright, so in this video we're going to cover how to find plugins, how to install them, how to activate them, and dispelling the myth that you can have too many. So let's dive in. So to find plugins, we're going to go into our dashboard, and down along the left hand side we're going to go to plugins. Now to get started, let's just see what plugins are already installed. So we're going to go to Installed Plugins and click. That brings us a list of the plugins that are already here, whether they're just sitting inactive or have already been activated. Now, back in one of the earlier videos, one of the first things we did was install security on our WordPress installation. So that's the Better WordPress security and the Sucuri security. So that you see they're already here. And if you haven't installed these plugins yet, I highly recommend you go back to that video. It's located at howtostartawebsite2.com/security. And that video will step you through how to install these and all of their settings. But for this video, we're going to pick up from there. One of the first plugins after that I recommend is something that's going to block spam from your comments on your website, assuming that you have comments activated. Not everybody will, but a lot of people are looking for feedback on their material, so they'll have comments enabled. So in order to block spam comments, we're just going to go ahead and use Akismet, and we're just going to activate that plugin. That particular plugin is usually already preloaded into your WordPress install. So once you click activate, you now have to come up here and click on this big blue button that says activate your Akismet account. So what that'll do is that'll bring you into this screen where it says you have to create a new Akismet key. And if you already have a key, you can click on this link and then just plug in the code that they gave you. But since we need one, you would just create a new Akismet key by clicking the blue button, and that will bring you over to their website. And if you need a key, you're just going to click the big blue button that says Get an Akismet API Key. So they're going to want an email address, a username, and a password. And if you already have a WordPress.com account, you can sign in with that as well. So you don't have to recreate all of this. Now, I'm not going to step through all of these steps over here. They're pretty self-explanatory. So once you create your account and click sign up, that will take you inside. They'll step you through a few different things, and then they will give you your API key. I believe they also email it to you. So if you miss grabbing the code while you're over here at this website, you can also get it out of your email. So when you come back into your WordPress dashboard, you can then click I have a key, and then you're going to paste that code right into here. Okay, so I'm going to paste the key right in there, and we're going to click Save Changes. And they're telling me this is a valid key, and they're telling me that everything right now is up and running properly and is accessible. We also have a couple of settings right here. Do you want to auto-delete spam submitted on posts more than a month old? Sure, why not? And do you want to show the number of comments you've approved besides each comment author? That's a personal choice. I'm not going to click that one, and we can save changes. Now, I also recommend another plugin to work in conjunction with Akismet. So let's go back over to plugins, and we're going to click on Add New. Now this particular plugin is called Conditional CAPTCHA for WordPress. So I'll paste that into the box and we'll search for it. And it's the first one at the top of the list. So all we have to do is then click Install Now, and I get a little warning box up here saying, do you want to install this plugin? And I'll click OK. And then it brings us over to this screen where it says that it downloaded and unpacked it, it installed it. So now all we have to do is activate the plugin. And that adds it to our list. So now to go through its settings, if you come back over to the left-hand side, you'll see Conditional CAPTCHA is listed right there, and we can click on that. So this plugin works with the Akismet and makes it a little bit more secure and a little higher functioning than just what Akismet can do by itself. What this does is if Akismet thinks a comment is spam, this plugin will take over and decide what you're going to do with that comment from there. And what you can do is you can test whether or not the comment is really spam or not by adding a CAPTCHA box to your comment section. But the really nice thing is you don't have to have this shown for everybody who's going to leave a comment, because obviously the higher the barrier you create, the less likely you are to get people to comment, and it can be a struggle to get people to do that anyway. So the nice thing about this plugin is you can set it in such a way that that CAPTCHA box only shows up if Akismet thinks the comment might be spam. So to get started on the settings, we're going to use the default text-based CAPTCHA. In order to use the reCAPTCHA, you would have to upgrade into the paid version of this plugin. But we're going to stick with the free version for right now and leave it on the first setting. Comment handling. So when a CAPTCHA is completed correctly, what do you want to have happen next? Do you want to leave the comment in the spam queue? Do you want to queue the comment for moderation? Or do you want to just go ahead and approve the comment and let it hit your website? Now, if Akismet thought it might be spam, there's a good chance that it really is, even if there is a human being behind the comment and putting it on your site. So I like to queue the comment for moderation, and then I will make the final determination as to whether or not that comment is going to show up on my website. So I'm going to leave the default setting alone. So then you can say, well, what happens when the CAPTCHA is not completed correctly? Do you want to leave it in the spam queue? Do you want to just go ahead and trash it? Or do you want to delete it? You know what? If they couldn't figure out how to fill out the CAPTCHA, I don't even want to be bothered with it. I'm going to say just go ahead and delete it. I don't even want to see it. I don't want to waste my time on it. Now, if you want, you can come up with your own CSS code for how you want the CAPTCHA page to be styled. And you can also change the wording of the prompt that comes up when CAPTCHA is going to be used. And the default is sorry, but I think you might be a spam bot. Please complete the CAPTCHA below to prove that you are human. You're going to find that a lot of the spam that shows up on your website come from spam bots, not from actual humans. So this is just a way of saying, you know, I want you to prove to me that you are human by completing this. And if you want, you can show a preview page of what it looks like when it shows up for other people. So let's do that. So there's that phrase that we just reviewed about being human. And the challenge is, what are the 4th and 6th characters in the following sequence? So the person would have to come down here and pick out those 2 characters, type them in here, and then click I'm human. So the Akismet behavior, you can tell Akismet that you don't want to check for spam for logged in users. And you can also prevent Akismet from storing comment histories. So if you want to do either of those 2 things, you would just check those boxes. So what we're going to do now is just going to click the Update Settings, big blue button. And that's all there is to setting up this particular plugin. So now all of your comment boxes should see a lot less spam show up on it. It's not going to get rid of everything 100%. These spammers are getting more and more creative about how to get things to slip through, but it will cut down on the vast majority of it. So let's go back to plugins and go through a few more. So we go back to our dashboard on the left-hand side, and under plugins, we're going to click Add New again. Now, one of the first pages that I recommended that you create back in the very beginning of content to create before we got started was a contact page. But the problem with that contact page was you didn't know how to put a contact form in place in order for people to actually fill it out and send you information, unless you decide that you're just going to put your email address, or if you're a physical business, maybe you have your business phone number and your physical address. But for the vast majority of us, I'm assuming you're strictly online and don't want to give out too much private information, so you're probably going to want to use a contact form. The contact form that I use is called Contact Form 7. And again, we can just put that in the box and search for it. And again, it's the very first one that comes up at the top of the list, and we can click on Install Now. And we get the warning, and yes, okay, we want it. And then we come over to the page where it says it's downloaded, it's unpacked, it's installed, and now we can click on Activate Plugin. And that brings us back to our list, and you can see our list is slowly growing. So now if I click on Settings for Contact Form 7, it brings us over to our very first contact form and the short code for that form. Now just to show you what this particular form looks like, let's go ahead and grab this code, and we're going to create our contact page right now. So we're going to come over to Pages and Add New, and we're going to call this page Contact. And of course our contact page needs a little bit of text, so let's throw a little bit of text in there. Let's see, let's make those centered. And that's heading 2. Okay, that's fine. And now at the bottom of this is where I would like for our contact form to come up, so that that shortcode ID that I had copy clipped before, we're going to paste in down here. Now just to be safe, I would recommend come over and click the Text tab and put in your shortcode in this tab. That way your WYSIWYG editor doesn't mistake code for text and then mess up the functionality of your shortcode. Okay, so now if we publish this page and then we can view it, you see by default the contact form asks for a name, an email address, a subject, and a message. And this particular box, the person can, if I can get a hold of it, can drag it out. If it's going to be a really long comment, they can drag that box out so they have plenty of room to be able to see what they're typing. So we go back into our dashboard, and once again we're going to go to Plugins and Add New. I have 2 other plugins that I think most people would like to have, and then I also have a list of some suggestions. But once again, this is going to be a matter of what do you need for your website. Obviously I don't know what the purpose is of your website, so I can't tell you every single plugin that you might need. I mean, some of the ones I'm reviewing now you may not feel like you need, but at least now you know adding plugins is not that hard, searching for them is not that hard, and going through the settings. But before we wrap up, the one thing that is very, very important is you want to make sure that you're selecting plugins that are not slowing down your site speed, and I'll show you how to test that before we wrap up this video. So another plugin that most people are going to want is called Google XML sitemap. So let's search for that. So Google XML sitemap, once again, because I'm searching for these specifically by their name, is the one at the top, and we're going to click Install Now and click OK. Yes, we want to install it. Okay, so once you've activated the Google XML sitemaps, and that is with an S, there are more than one on the list. So if you forget the S, you will install the wrong one. You're looking for the one by Arnie Brockhold. So once you have that installed, we're going to hover over Settings, and then we're going to come down and we're going to click on XML sitemap. Now, it came up and it warned us that my website is currently blocking search engines. So in order for this XML sitemap to function properly, I would need to go over and let search engines know that they can crawl my site, which I'm not going to do for this site because it's just a demonstration site. So when you're done finessing all of those settings, we need to come up here and click here to build your sitemap. Well, I'm not going to do that for this website because, like I said, I do not want search engines looking for this site because it's just a demonstration site. And another really handy plugin to have is called PrettyLink. So we're going to type in PrettyLink Lite and search on plugins. And alright, so PrettyLink Lite is the first one that comes up on the list because I searched for it by name. And we're going to say Install Now and click OK on the warning box. And we're going to activate that plugin. And once again, you can see it was added to our ever-growing list. And it also put itself in the dashboard right here. So let's go take a look at it real quick. So the really nice thing about this plugin, and they have a nice video right here explaining how to use them as well. And you can go through that. But the really nice thing about this plugin, as you can notice, whenever you create a new page or a new post, whatever you called that post is the URL that gets generated for being able to link to that post. And obviously you can go in and you can shorten that, or you can tweak what actually goes into the URL if you want. But even so, it's probably going to be a pretty lengthy URL. And if you create videos like I do for showing you how to do this stuff, or if you do podcasting, or anytime you're giving like a talk or a speech, you don't want to have to say, okay, well, go to howtostartawebsite2.com/ yada 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 yada, because nobody's ever going to get that URL written down or ever figure out how to get to the link that you're trying to direct them to. So PrettyLink allows you to shorten that big long URL down to just maybe 1 or 2 words. And if you notice at the beginning of every single one of my videos, I give you a URL of how to get back to the blog post that goes with that video, and those are pretty links. That's not what my posts are called. They're really lengthy, but I'm using like 1 or 2 words to direct people back, to make it easier, to make less to type in, to make it easier to remember where to go back to, because people may not necessarily have they might not be at their computer to put in that information, so you want to make it short and easy for them to remember. So now just a few other plugins that I use. Before I started using the StudioPress Genesis premium themes, which have SEO functionality built right into them, I liked using the all-in-one SEO pack that enables you to put in your title, put in the initial content that you would like to show in the results when people do search engine searches, and you are also able to put in keywords or keyword phrases that you would like to be recognized for in the search engines. Another really cool plugin is called Blueberry PowerPress, and that's BLUBRRY PowerPress, all one word. And if you are planning to do podcasting, this is a really, really awesome plugin to handle all of that functionality so that you can get your podcast onto your blog post, and also update your feed and notify iTunes that you have a new podcast for them to include in their searches as well. Another really cool plugin is called Comment Redirect by Yoast, and this is really cool because if somebody comes and comments on your blog for the very first time, this plugin can detect that, and then you can redirect that commenter to a static page. And of course, this static page can have on it whatever you want to have on it. But the thing I like to do is I like to thank the new visitor for leaving their very first comment, and then I give them and then I ask them if they would be interested in signing up for my newsletter. I mean, obviously they were interested enough in your content that they left a comment. Maybe that's a good time to hit them up for letting them know that you have additional content available in newsletter format, and maybe that's a good time to get them to sign up. So that's Comment Redirect by Yoast to set up that functionality. Okay, so another plugin is called Global Content Blocks. If you find yourself needing to reuse the same text or code over and over and over again inside either your pages or your posts, you can create a little block code. Now, back when we installed the contact form, that contact form had to be put on your blog post or your page in a little block of code. And what this plugin does, you can have that block be attached to whatever string of text or other code that you want it to be attached to, and then all you would need to do is take that little chunk of code to put into your page or into your posts, instead of having to keep inserting that big long block of text. And it just makes things faster. And then one other plugin that I use a lot is called Regenerate Thumbnails. Every once in a while, WordPress can get kind of wonky with your images, and then all of a sudden, for no reason whatsoever, your images might not be displaying properly. This plugin, all you have to do is go in and just click Regenerate, and it reconnects all the dots and fixes everything, and then your images are fine again. Okay, so what about the impact to your site speed? Well, there is this great little test that you can do, and it is over at tools.pingdom.com, and you can test your site speed. Now, if I take a post from my howtostartawebsite2.com and paste it in here, I can say test that page now. And it's going through, as you can see, the little thingy is scrolling here. And wow, this time when it tested, it came back with a load time of 1.96 seconds, which is pretty fast. You definitely want to keep your load time underneath 5 seconds. Obviously, the lower, the better. And what you can do is you can come down and you can see all the different things that this page had to go through in order to load. And this all shows this coloration you're seeing over here. The longer the color, the longer each piece took. And once you add all of that up, it comes down to 1.96 seconds. Now, one of my other websites I know is struggling with its site speed, and it's something that I need to go in and figure out really soon as to why. But if I put in a page from that website and test that, let's see how it does this time. I know the last time it was well over 5 seconds, and it's kind of looking like it's going over 5 seconds again. Well, this time it came in just under 5 seconds, but I do know that this website overall really struggles with its page load times. And if you scroll down, I noticed the last time I ran this that this particular call right here seems to be way out of line with everything else on this page, especially since this says 0 bytes right here. I mean, it's not even pulling anything, but it's getting hung up on this. And if I hover over this, it's telling me that the plugin, Hangout plugins, is what's holding it, the website up. So if that's not something that I'm using or need, or maybe I can go find something different to perform the same function, I could disable this plugin and then retest my site and see if it improves. Okay, so out of curiosity, I just went into the dashboard of my other website and I deactivated that particular plugin, and I'm going to tell tools.pingdom.com to test again, and so let's see if it changes at all. Wow, look at that. We just cut our load time in half. We are down to just 2.56 seconds. So as you can see, it's not the quantity of plugins, it is the quality. And that particular plugin was really drawing on my site. So that's it for this video, and in the next one, we're going to cover widgets. Thank you for watching and listening to another session from How to Start a Website 2.0. This episode is just one of many available inside my online course. Register for free today at howtostartawebsite2.com/thevault.